So I just finished watching episode 9 of One Piece, and what I thought would be basically a story about a boy that cried wolf turned out to be a really sweet character episode where this dude is essentially making up stories for this girl that's dying while her parents are dying and she's really sick. He's called Usopp, and he basically goes to her house and tells her stories, like made up stories to make her feel better. And I just thought that was amazing because the way this episode was framed, especially to start was basically this guy was just trouble and just making up lies and causing trouble in the town basically and lying about pirates invading and stuff. Um, and that's the way it was sort of set up. And he had this crew of children, which sounds mad, that looked up to him essentially. And I thought it was going to be a case of where they found out he was lying and they sort of like turned on him and they were like, well, fuck you then. But it turns out they actually knew he makes these stories up, and it's part of why they like him, because he's sort of like, he's maniacal, or not maniacal, he's sort of like, uh, they like him being a bit mischievous essentially. But this guy Usopp is actually a really nice guy, and that's the what thing with One Piece. Like the way it sort of frames things and its character development and stuff like that. It's really amazingly crafted. Like this episode has got me invested in this character so quickly, and One Piece is amazing at that. Like telling just these stories constantly, these little stories, the backstories, and these little character moments are so well crafted. You can tell how much thought was put into the world and its characters just based off these little moments. I don't know, maybe I'm looking too deep into it, but the characters in this world are clearly so lovingly crafted, and this episode completely threw me off guard. I thought it was brilliant. It did make me laugh though when Usopp heard that pirates were actually coming, and they actually were this time, and it was Luffy and Zoro and Nami, and he tried to fool them into thinking he had 80 million servants or minions basically, and it was just the three kids playing along. It was actually really sweet. And Usopp, his dad actually works with Shanks, or at least Luffy knew of him. He's called Yasop. Um, and he knew Luffy when he was a kid, so it all sort of ties back together. Luffy recognized him, I think, because of his nose. It was a pretty big giveaway. But they entered this island basically trying to look for a bigger boat for Luffy's crew, and they've ended up finding this guy Usopp. I don't know if he'll end up joining, but I hope he does, because I think his character has a lot of potential in terms of like the story and stories that it can tell, and his personality and character growth and all that sort of stuff. And I like him already just based on this episode. I think he's awesome. But it goes to show the writing in One Piece is so good, because a character that's literally like a liar and a manipulator, I already am very endeared to. Like it's it's crazy. But yeah, the fact that Usopp is telling these stories to this girl that's dying in this situation just to cheer her up goes to show what kind of character he is. So yeah, I think this episode was great, and Usopp's an awesome character, and I'm excited to see where this goes.